I am the Taino. I know my name now. I try to say my people don't exist. They done came to every form of our lands without understanding how we moved, so they think we're split cultures. That's just the identity, like the personality of that region. They think the Taino were separate from the Mayans and the Aztecs. They think we're all moving individually like them. Even though titles are not the source, and we're way beyond titles, knowing the name of the tribe I hail from, or the people that filled the lands they say that so-called Puerto Ricans come from, puts an energy within I to give I deep motivation to stand on everything that I already knew was I. Before I doubted myself, I already knew what I was, but I barely saw pictures of my dad, for example. I was only around my mom, who's the colonizer side. She herself did not colonize my people, but she is of the colonizer's people. She's a woman of the colonizer. She's a Caucasian woman. Her species come from the Caucasus Mountains esoterically. Human beings made in my image. I'm not worried about her, so she's so weird that she just started talking upstairs with her devilish spirit. She's generally an archon, and I see that now. Human beings lack a soul. There are very few of them, even with the weed, even with being around us. There's very few of them that actually have the ability to rise above the genetics that their creator Zeus programmed us with. They're literally made with the intent to have a deep hatred for my species in any which way that they do not even understand. They're so disconnected from all life around them. They even have to eat dead bodies. We don't have to. We've been taught to. They have to. They will start to get weak and die. They're a whole different being. They can't stop eating meat in the true way we can unless they really tap in. With me, if I eat meat right now, my whole body will start to become horribly sick, way beyond any other the man-made food can do, because meat is a dead body. The man-made food is man-made concoctions with chemicals that's made by a man, but the meat is just a dead, rotten carcass, a dead body. So it's beyond just eating something that's bad for you. It's a whole different sect that's its own group, way beyond toxic of anything that a man can make with his chemicals that a rotten dead body is, right? And these human beings, for example, need to eat rotten flesh. They were made in a petri dish by my fallen brother, who is a member of the species of what they named God in their English tongue. But we didn't call ourselves God, and before we were colonized with their languages, we were just beings of this planet, the most evolved life form, aware of its own self, risen from all of life around us, connected to all life around us. God was never outside of us. We understood that God was within us always and forever, in ways that this whole way of thinking in this language cannot even conceptualize. We didn't speak in this whole, like the whole idea of every idea, for example, of like age, moving, wearing, just everything, and moving, wearing clothes, driving a car, the whole way we analyze and think, and the ideas of whole life molded by the colonizer through his language, like every idea within their way of living. It's like spoken through the tongue, but speaking is so much deeper because it molds the mind and molds reality. Everything is interconnected, so speaking is just as important as moving your hand, and moving your hand is just as important as blinking. I'm trying to say that everything is a part of one conjoined movement within operation, just different parts of the puzzle. So speaking affects reality way beyond vocal, just, oh, it sounds. No, it's actual energy that's the same as the chair. So when you speak, you're creating real energy that's affecting the vibration of everything around you, and it will alter the vibration state of the chair, which is also energy. So what I'm saying is that through their words. They molded our minds with their ideas. Through teaching us their language, they then put their ideas into my people to mold us to live like them. But before they could speak with us through their language, their low vibrational tongue, they couldn't even get into our minds. We were just in nature. We didn't think any of the things they think about life. Any of the ways they think about life, we didn't think. They're backwards as fuck. I'm being honest. This shit is so primitive. These people live in caves called houses and hide from the sun because they're not natural to our planet. Literally. They taught us to live like them and it's killing us, but they need to live like that. Us is draining our life. We need to be outside, little do we know. They can't even stand being outside for that long. They have to run inside. Even when the sun is not out. Because they don't come from this planet. They don't feel the energy I feel when I stand out with my planet. Because this isn't their home. This is deeply when I come from. My roots are everywhere in this planet. You feel me? Their energy is deeply ignorant. And my mom thinks I'm her son. You laid down with an indigenous being of this planet. I'm not your son. You're a soulless being and you're filled with hate. I don't care what energy you are blinded to perceive you think you're righteous in outside of your own perspective. If you heard yourself and you understood the energy I operate in, you are generally so weird and outside of yourself and disconnected from life. It's sad. You're against life and against me being connected to nature. You're just purely in ego and ignorance and disconnected to the very planet that you are on. You're a passenger and visitor to my planet. So it makes sense that you're so against actually hearing any of the actual true history of what took place on my lands because it has nothing to do with you. You're a visitor to my planet. You don't belong here. So you have none of the energy in your genetics to even resonate with what I talk about. You're literally a member of the species that even if you didn't do it directly, in your genetics, from what you come from the group that came enslaved, slaughtered, and raped and colonized by people. You lack a soul. You're made in the image of my people. You are not natural to my planet. You cannot take the sun. You are an artificial animal hybrid with a drop of my blood and a bit of my genetics made in the image of my species. Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. Your people are filled with hate and lack of soul. Your people have done the most foul, heinous, disgusting acts on this planet and then project on us and call us savage. Y'all call us criminals. Y'all call us all these titles when y'all are the ones that are filled with all the shame from the disgusting shit that y'all done. It is deeply in y'all genetics to be the way y'all are, even down to the fact of nowadays most of y'all might not be directly doing shit like what the KKK was doing, even though that was 70 years ago. Y'all are still energetically in y'all thoughts. So just in the whole way, just feel, even though you're not the racist form of your species, all their genetics within you still alters the way you act, of why you move the way you move. You're not even the same species I am. You are a lower vibrational consciousness. You are the same collective consciousness, so you can speak the same words, speak the same language. You walk upright, so, and you made in my image, so it looks like we're the same. But the whole reason you even interact with life with such disharmony and such annoyance, and you're always so annoyed at everyone, you're always whining and complaining, is because you lack a soul. You're not connected to the energy of the room around you. I feel everything around me. I'm a soul that stepped into this body that feels the energy of life. You don't even have a soul to feel the energy of life around you. You're purely ego. You have your mom's genetics passed down to you, and then her genetics passed down to her, which are human being genetics, which these human being Caucasians have done the most horrible, disgusting, foul shit because they're animal hybrids that lack a soul. Y'all are made artificially by my fallen brother Zeus, who goes by the name of Satan, who is literally the father of your religion, Christianity. He's the God that made you, that evil, sick, disgusting, horrible God that did that horrible, disgusting shit. All these horrible, disgusting, worse than some of the most horrible people on this planet your God has done, and that's what you pray to, Old and New Testament. That is your God, Zeus, and you people are low vibrational, soulless beings that do not belong on my planet. Y'all need to go. You need to get out of my planet. Y'all don't belong here. This whole system is breaking down. Don't worry. My people are waking up more and more and more. My people are waking up more and more and more. The whole shift of everything has been changing, so I don't care how you feel. Very soon, all my people people are going to be outside revolting, and I'm going to be able to join them, get away from people like you. Y'all are going to die within y'all sickness respectfully, within the energies y'all harbor with, and I don't wish that on y'all, but I just don't even see the possibility of people like you and most of the human being species, and even my beings that choose to live in y'all ways and connect to nature and the planet, to actually rise in consciousness and actually heal themselves. I barely see it as possible at this point, because the shift has already happened. That's what the shift has been. Everyone who thinks that the world is everything they were told prior to 2020, the 3D physical dead world where the animals are just beings that are for you to eat, and you think it's meat, not a dead body. You think that the world is America, a false illusion that exists in the mind where there are really no lines. It's really just land. There are no countries, no titles, no flags, no borders. None of this shit exists. All countries are corporations that are here to rape the resources on my planet. That is literally all countries are here for. It's all a guise, an illusion. There's no real citizens that are here respected by governments. It's all a distraction to make you feel like you're living while the world is being raped, and they're here to just extract the resources of the planet. They turned my planet into a colony. A whole colony. The whole planet is a colony from these artificial shapeshifter ass beings that don't even belong on the planet, and the human being hierarchy that sold the rest of their human being species out. Y'all all got it though. Y'all don't even belong on this planet. Y'all can think what y'all want, but this shit is really They Live combined with every other fucking movie that y'all done put the truth in. And it's not even about a movie, because a movie's just a move eye. Move eye. Fuck out of here. Move eye soul with the television that you're telling lies to, incorporated with truth through that television. I'm not here with any of y'all. Your energy is yours. You got such a weird ass spirit in you. Like literally every time I channel, energies have to do with anything of high vibration, of my ancestors, of the planet, of the divine, of the cosmos. It irks whatever's in you, because you lack a soul, and you have archons all up in your vessel, and you're a physical link to I to send energies through your body into I. Like I'm saying, negative energies that don't have a body, that harbor in the atmosphere, use you through your thoughts and negative ass vibration you always seem to exist in, to then be nasty and feel so irked by me when I'm channeling that energy of nature. And when I sit out in nature or I feed on the sun, that energy is all in my aura and it's all up around me. So that's why it literally feels like, and it's literally true, it doesn't just feel like that, it feels like that because it's real. It's literally happening. When I'll bring that energy, that high vibration, when you'll feel it without even knowing you feel it around me, and be particularly extra irked by me because I got that high vibration on me, because you aren't of this planet. So even though you don't even mean to, any energy of nature, any energy of this planet irks you because you don't belong to this planet. That's what I'm getting at. You're an artificial being that lacks a soul, that isn't of this planet. Y'all are a very short-lived species that have only been on my planet for 500 years. Y'all written yourself into our history. Y'all barely got any history of y'all own. Like, literally, where the fuck did white people come from? I'm not trying to be ignorant. Very few of y'all are actually cool and actually don't got any, or you feel me, any of that nasty-ass, negative-ass, ego-ass energy. Almost all the human beings got a level of that ego-ass energy in you. And my people got ego, but it's different. We are soul. Any being can be good or evil. We're all equally within life, but I'm saying y'all people are just purely ego and disconnected to the actual planet. Y'all don't even feel life around you. Y'all operate in a whole different frequency of interacting with life. So-called human beings, so-called white people. You feel me? That's why we don't resonate with y'all most of the time. Y'all lack that energy. I'm not even trying to be ignorant. That's why y'all feel so fake, because y'all don't even got real energy in you. When y'all form of socializing is smiling in your face and being fake and really not liking people. That's white people socializing. White people have that stale fake energy because they lack the energy of life. I'm not trying to be ignorant. Like literally, y'all lack the energy of life. Y'all mad at us because we got all this life. Leave us the fuck alone. We won't ever bother y'all. Y'all came to us and fucked with us and keep fucking with us and never leave us the fuck alone. Just like her, she swears she wants me gone, but the moment I haven't talked to her for days, she's going out her way to text my phone talking about, we haven't talked for a while. I think it's better that way. Bitch, I don't want to talk to you. You're slow. You show me that which I always say, that you actually want my energy energetically, you have an etheric cord deeply attached to me because you think I'm your son, and you're filled with ego. So your ego like literally makes it to where in your body, when I make you feel a way, you literally go against your own self, but against your ego deeply. You have no reason to not like me. I'm your son. I'm the one who actually doesn't like you because of the energy you have and the way you act. It's different. I'm trying to get at that. You think I'm just talking shit when we argue, and that I actually don't not like you. It's not that I hate you, and it's not that I don't not like you because, like, you feel. It's not even that you feel me, but I mean what I say is what I'm saying. I actually feel how I feel towards the nasty energy you have. You don't have to be nasty towards someone who, for example, has been nasty towards you, or someone who just has this nasty energy, or if a food tastes bad and you don't want to eat the feeling of it being bad. That's just you feeling the real energy of it being bad. I'm giving you an example of me not liking the energy you have. I actually don't like your energy. You like my energy outside of us arguing. Your ego's just so big that when I call you out for your little weird energy of negativity that you harbor within your low conscious unaware state, you get annoyed at me. But until that, you trying to be all cool with me and you got no reason not to like me. You want my energy. I actually don't like your energy and look down on the ways you act, not in a way of thinking I'm better than you, but in a way of you're just unconscious and choose to channel negativity through you towards the beings around you. And it deeply disturbs I because I have to absorb that energy. That's all I've ever said. You can say what you want, but it is what it is and it's true. You're filled with archons and you're filled with negative energy. That's my mom for you. Now, I'm so raw, I'm going to keep that all in. Fuck out of you. Let's keep going, because she thinks it's about her. I'm not even talking to her. She doesn't even know I'm recording, probably. The bitch is delusional. And I say bitch scientifically, because she's a female dog, genetically, because she got dog in her. White people have a canine, so I smell like wet dog. They got monkey in them, snub-nosed monkey. They got the pig in them. They got a few animals in them. And I'm not particularly keen on knowing the exact animals they have in them, but I know that they're made with animals, you feel me? Because I don't want to ever be taken out of context and be like, he said that like it was set in stone. I'm saying things within finding them out as we're all here together, so you can correct me as we're finding out the truth. So right now, where I'm at might be corrected in a little bit to come, from my lack of awareness or knowledge up to my point now that I will gain ahead of now to then be able to correct my prior ignorance that I wasn't aware of. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to figure out the truth. We're all trying to figure out the truth from all the lies we've been told from the colonizer, them raping us mentally, filling us with their views of life when we had our own way of living way before them. So we're trying to free ourselves from everything they told us to disconnect us from life and the actual true way of what life is outside of their corrupted way of looking at life. They want us to think like them. But the thing is, they don't even want us to think like them. They just straight up lied to us. So they're just straight up telling us lies about the actual truth that we come from. So as it is that we're coming out of these lies and we're finding the truth, you might get some things wrong here and there. You're trying to figure it out as you're going through it. Allow me grace. We all got grace. I'm saying, like, I will correct myself where I'm wrong and update myself. Constantly updating myself to be fully in tune with the truth. And wherever it is that I wasn't fully in tune with the truth, but I wasn't aware that it wasn't fully the truth. That's what I'm getting at. But so, I'm remembering my people. But on a deep level, we're the Taino. I meant we're the Annunaki. Look at me. Mixing up my shit because all that energy I done gave all outside myself just earlier. On the deep level, we're the Annunaki. My people are the Taino, but we only split up into tribes in a survival state when we lost communication outside of our direct physical location. We didn't rely on physical reality like this. in the way it was to where after they came, it was like we were only able to communicate with who was directly around us. When we used to be able to communicate on a planetary level, on a global level, on a telepathic level, on a soul level, on an energetic level, with our whole species, and we all moved as one, as the Atlanteans. When it is that they came to our planet and invaded these human beings with the draconian reptilians and the Pleiadians under Zeus and all the fallen gods and goddesses, when it is that they invaded our planet, Planet Kai, and we found frequency, we then dropped to a tribal state to where we bonded and grouped up and paired up with the ones around us, with the ones closest to us, and formed what you call these tribes. But it's not even the way they paint them. They're telling you about us, but they never have us tell you about us. They'll tell you all day about the Seminoles, but where's a Seminole, a real Seminole, who was there? I mean, most of them have died, transcended their physical avatars, right? It's more like 200 years ago, right? You might have some that got the stories from their great-grandparents and so on, but that real direct energy, we don't even know their actual story told by them. We know the view of the white man looking at them and what he thought about what he saw them doing, and his interpretation of what our ancestors were. But we weren't no split tribes moving as individual groups we were moving as one. We weren't moving as one split up. We were moving as one together. We weren't moving as one over there, one over there, one over there. We were moving as one together. It's just like with the gangs, right? How they locked up all the leaders and then broke the rest up and they all started scattering around. You cut the head and the body falls. What they did with us is we started dropping in frequency from the Atlantis state down to the Mississippians, down to all these different fractured tribes as they divided and split up the land and broke us up. And they would like pull us away from each other. Like, if there's an overwhelming force attacking the planet, and then we're all fighting them over here, and then most of our forces aimed at fighting them over here, but then a whole other force pops up on this part of the planet that's destroying this whole part of the planet. We need some people to go over there. And then this side we started splitting up, because when we would start to try to cover them in all flanks, go on all different parts of the planet, fight them on all different parts of the planet, we lost the ability to communicate with the other parts of our own family, our own species, our own self, on different parts of the land with our higher technologies. Because, again, we started to fall in frequency, so we started to rely on the physical more, lose our higher spiritual technologies, our higher spiritual capabilities. So we then only banded together and adapted to the part of the land we were on and grouped together to make our own group to fight them on that part of the land. Like, we would just call it, it's like it would just naturally happen. Like we would be over there in what they would call present-day Florida, right? And we didn't even mean to split up from all the people up in the north and, like, California. I mean, I'm over here mixing up the seas. Carolina. And, like, up north more, like New Jersey. Up north more. They didn't mean to split up from them down, like the Seminoles down in Florida. They just naturally started to be together over enough, quote-unquote, time to where the ways they were addressing each other. And it's like, if you haven't been with your friends for 5 years and you come back around again, they're going to be in a whole different, like, energy within them. They might live in a whole different town. They might have new people that they're cool with. You pop up and you got to catch up to everything. It's like a whole new energy. It's like, if you leave a certain part of us on a certain part of the land for enough time, it's like, you know, Darwin's theory of evolution, even though that's a bunch of bullshit from that human being, some human being, Caucasian white man, who tried to come up with some bullshit-ass theory of what they call evolution, right? his Darwin's theory of, they call it like adaptive species. Like if you would put one part of a species like birds and leave them on an island long enough, over generations they would mutate to become like their own species with different genetics, and they would look different. They might not even be able to mate with the original birds they come from. They might become a whole different kind of bird. That's like us. If you had us on one part of land long enough, we started to become our own identity, and we'll have our own things going on within us that we're all caught up with, all these events that took place within what's happening to all of us over here that those people over there don't know happened to us over here, and all this identity and culture and energy that take place on this part of the land. And that's where it is that you get these Puerto Ricans that have the bamba, where they play the drums, and that's their revolutionary identity with the music. Then you got other people in different parts of the island that are just as similar but have a different form of, but Puerto Ricans would strongly identify with their form of bamba, and you have all these different identities, right? Because it's like they've been on that part of the land with their shared experience, what they went through, them all bonded together. Even though anciently we all come from one species, we're all genetically the same, blacks, Latinos, and any other title they call us, we're all Annunaki gods anciently. We started to adapt to these different titles, groups, and identities over quote-unquote time, because we understand time as a man-made illusion, a man-made spell, an alien spell. It's witchcraft, right? Time. We understand that, but within time as it passed, we grouped up within these different tribes, and that's all it was. But originally, we're all Atlanteans, operating on the global level, one super advanced global civilization, super in tune with the planet, nature, higher technologies, higher sciences, higher divine energies of life. We're super highly evolved, highly intelligent, highly conscious beings. You feel me? High energy, super divine beings, you feel me? That merely have just lost their grace over generations of being pulled outside of ourselves, pulled outside of nature, pulled outside of our ways, but all that energy is coming back. It never went anywhere, but it's coming back. It's being restored within us. It's being activated within us. The genetics within all the indigenous beings of this planet, the Anunnaki gods that we come from, that we still are, that we're the descendants of, that we merely found frequency from, it's still all within us. All them ancient genetic codes are still there. They were merely lying dormant, covered by all the lies, all the bullshit they filled us with. The generations of colonizing us, pulling us away from ourselves, blinding us, putting us under spells, and now we're just returning to source. We were off the path. We lost the plot for a while. Now we're just returning to the, you feel me, to the plot. We're figuring out what matters again. We're realigning ourselves and having our eyes pulled to what's important again, what's actually been happening, what's actually been taking place on our planet. You feel me? We're remembering ourselves again, outside of the colonizer, outside of what he told us about everything that took place. So, when I say that finding out the real name of my people is the Taino is deeply healing, deeply empowering, deeply motivating, it helps I on such a deep level, because even though we're the Anunnaki gods, the Atlanteans, having a direct identity to know I came from these people that I can point to, be just a feeling of hearing them talk about and because I hear everyone, when I hear the Cherokee, or I hear talks about the Africans, or the Ethiopians, or what take place on this part of the land that fall against the colonizers, or took place in Jamaica, or even though, all the Caribbean islands are actually my people, so really, the Jamaicans come from, they're all the Taino, Arica, or whatever the fuck, I forgot that, it's something with the Arrakah or something, Araka or something, but the Taino, blah, blah. They're all kind of the same, but all these different things I didn't really relate to on a deep level because it didn't feel like it was talking about me, even though I understood that, the titles were an illusion, the flag's an illusion. There's no such thing as a Jamaican or you feel me, a South African, right? Or a Peruvian. It's like when I heard that, I didn't identify with it, but when I started to look at pictures of my dad and confirm that he's really a carbonated being, which I already understood. It's just I didn't really grasp it because I've never been around that side of my family. So, and deeper than that, when I looked at what Puerto Ricans are beyond the title of Puerto Rico and looked into our history, and when I first heard the word Taino, it's like it just gave I something to be able to like stand on, because that's my ancestors, that's my people. You feel me? See, now she has this energy to talk shit about me because I done said something to her. So now she wants to target all this negative energy towards me. But it shows you that she's the actual negative one who actually is negative towards I. And I just call her out for her negativity. And I don't like a negative person. So she thinks I'm negative for being negative towards her. But she's always negative and she comes with a negative energy and she's nasty towards I. So my energy towards her is me choosing to be negative to a nasty person. But she's so blinded. She doesn't see any of her own energy. She just sees how everyone reacts to her. So she just sees their behavior as isolated incidents, not motivated by any of the nasty energy she gives to them. So she can sit here and yell at you, be nasty towards you, bicker about you, talk shit about you. But the moment you respond to her and give her a taste of her own medicine, she only sees the outside person. And she's like, this person's bullying me. They don't like me. And the only closest thing she has to an empathetic connection to be able to connect to the effect of how negative she is when she chooses to be negative is her then being like, oh, you hate me, I'm horrible. It's like that fake, like, that person who, instead of getting the point, they then go in that fake little, like trying to, like, get sympathy, fake weird spirit energy where they're over-exaggerating and being all... Because deep down she knows how her energy is. So when you break that ego in her and she has to connect to the real, then she's all like crying and acting like and broken because she knows she's a fucking mean-ass, nasty person who's naturally negative, that I respond to negativity with, that in my spirit and soul am naturally at peace. The energy I create around I is peace. When she's not here, I'm literally healing the whole energy. The whole energy of the house changes. Everyone starts to be able to breathe. My sisters aren't yelling at each other anymore. Like, it sucks that it has to be that way, but the days she went into the hospital, when she's gone and away from the house, when we got to see what the energy of life could be like without the one who claims we're the negative ones, but particularly me, or any person that she argues with the most. Because every man she's been with, for example, she's been very toxic with and extremely dysfunctional with, and would argue at the level she argues with me at, with that same disgusting energy, but in a different way, in their own way of doing it. And it was a little bit more extreme because they were both adults, equal, able to be toxic towards each other. So that'd actually be a little bit more extreme. And she would equally swear that they were the problem, the same way she swears I'm the problem now and uses us as a scapegoat. Because we match her and her negative frequency, but she's the one who harbors in that negative frequency. She gallows and wallows and you feel me, just is drenched in that negative frequency that she is the one that then brings towards everyone else and brings everyone down into. But then she just sees them reflecting the negative frequency that she has. So everyone who comes around her then starts to get the negative frequency, and she thinks it's them. But there's one constant common factor that's always staying the same. The people she's swearing are the problem are all switching, changing. Who's the one that's always there? But thinking the problem is everyone else but them. Her. And that's because she's a Caucasian. I'm not even trying to be ignorant. Like, that's what I mean by they're a whole different species. These human beings, genetically, from lacking a soul, the way they're made, are made just like they just are a whole different energy of like being like these weird judgmental, whole different consciousness of like energy they operate in. What I'm trying to say is we're all life, right? Every being has to potentially be good and evil, but white people, for the most part, their species name is human being, and the way they're made within their genetics, the type of energies they have that influence their consciousness through the animal genetics within them, and the fallen gods that made them, and the negative energies they were made within, they are not connected to life in the way we are, because we are the soul. We are life itself, so we're connected to all life. They only have a spirit, and they're highly influenced by all the negative energy of the actual fallen souls of the fallen gods who made them. So that's why, one, they're so easy to be negative, but two, they're just a whole different species made in our image, and they can move in life the same way. It's like if we're all playing a video game, but you have a different character than me. Or if we're playing Mario Kart and you have a different racer. You might be Luigi, I'm Mario, or he might be Bowser, but we're all playing the same game. So we're all going to have to drive the same, even though our characters look different. So I'm saying, even though our species is different, we're all within life with the equal potential to rise or fall. So this is why the enemy is not white people or black people, or Latino people, because one, we're not black or Latino, we're Annunaki gods, and it was a fallen Annunaki god who made the human being species. And before the human beings were made, we were just beings within life that had the ability to be negative or positive, tap into high energy or low energy, right? So, even though we don't ever want to be caught up in, hatred or racism like the oppressors, they are a whole different species that within their genetics and the way they are within them is made to be the whole way they have been throughout all of history. This is why they've been able to do the horrible, foul shit they've done, the foul acts they've done, because they lack a soul. They're a whole different being in the sense of what I'm trying to get at when I say they're a whole different being is like they're not really like a whole different being, but their experience within them in life isn't this, I don't even want to say, it's not this clear state of just being within life clear, feeling all of energy around you. They're like polluted with this judgmental, intoxicated, like blinded by all these negative thoughts of other like people and life, and just this low energy, low conscious, like low judgmental spirits. Like if you're a lower energy being, you harbor lower energies of like negativity within you. And so these human beings were a lower energy being made with the intent for foul negative purposes towards our species. Like they are made to enslave and destroy our species. That's why when they came to our planet, they came with their god who made them, Zeus, in the form of Christianity, who the god of Christianity is Satan, who is Zeus, just hiding behind the name Satan, which is why the Christian god looks just like the Greek god of Zeus, the white man with the white beard. And if you really look into it, you can start to tie it all together with who that entity is, the Thunderbolt, that entity with who that entity is. He's all that same entity. And he's the entity who made these human beings in our image and then released them on our planet with the lower conscious, lower energy, lower negative genetics that were harbored and programmed with, that they have the ability to break free from if they really tap in and try and connect to life, but that they're made with to then go against us. So that's why she, within her consciousness, even though she has a bunch of mixed children, she's been with basically nothing but black and Latino men, mostly black men, she's still a human being who, I'm saying, within her consciousness of the being she is in her avatar, isn't the soul that my people are, that's connected to the energies of life and the planet, and that's filled with these ancient genetics and connected to the universe. She's a spirit in this hybrid animal, artificially made avatar, made in the image of my real life species. Like my species are real life that have been made from real life with real history and real life to us. And these human beings are like really recently made in that cosmic view, like a couple thousand years ago on this planet for about a couple hundred years only, because they came to this planet in the portal of through portals in the Caucasus Mountains, right? And they really have a short history in the cosmic scale, and so it's like they're really just influenced by the energies of what was already here, but on the fallen negative side of the fallen gods who made them, with a few being able to break away. So it's like their consciousness and the energy that they're in when they move through life is just very disconnected to the life around them. They're very full of ego. It's very easy to be like just not at peace, just very like just filled with like judgment, nastiness, just archonic, negative, nasty energy. I'm being honest, you feel me? So I wish my human being mother the best, but she'd be influenced by her own lack of awareness to then have all this negative energy work through her. She's over here talking all this shit about me. When you see, what am I doing? I'm over here focused on having the door closed in the back room, talking to the phone about things way more important than her driving my carbonated sister, who's the blackest in my family, because she has actual, like, super dark skin compared to me and Alicia, who are just mixed, but our skin isn't black. My sister looks just like me as far as skin color, but she's mixed in the sense that her dad's black, but you wouldn't be able to directly tell if you didn't know what to look for. Like, if we were to just, like, now she got locks in, so it's easier to tell, but, like, if you were to just looking through and Alicia wasn't to tell you and she didn't, like, have, like, her energy popping out in the way she wears her hair or the way she moves or talks, you might think she's, like, Spanish or a white girl, you feel me? The same way you would think I'm white, possibly, but the more I tap into the planet and nature, like my hair, my ether rather, my body changes, my whole avatar is changing, to my genetics are changing to morph and evolve and restructure into the real life energies of nature that I'm tapping into to fill my body with real energies of life from nature and the air and the sun. It's like I'm changing my body. My body is metamorphosizing and evolving. I'm creating new cells, new tissue. My whole body's changing as it is I'm connecting to nature and retuning to the divine species I am. You feel I? So I look more carbonated, you feel me? And I'm gonna look more and more carbonated and less like the oppressor that my dad laid down with. You feel me? No offense, but even though she, again, isn't the oppressor, I just mean that in the sense of she's coming from that energy introduced into our planet, so she's still coming from that whole camp. Coming from that energy. You feel me? So, peace to everyone's happening. I wish you all the best. I'm just doing me. Dealing with this, weird-ass energy. With this, low vibrational ass, soulless ass being who thinks that she created me, literally, even though I'm a soul in a body that is not her son, just like she even said with her weird ass. Even if she really was my mother, in a divine sense. What type of mother would be that quick to be like, yeah, you're not my son, to their own son? Because she's a low, conscious child filled with ego. A petty, spiteful ass, low vibrational ass weirdo. Filled with archons, respectfully. She's been one of the most, if not the most, toxic source in my whole life. Literally. Being around her has been fucking ew my whole life. Nothing but stress, disgusting energy, yelling. No form of peace in her, almost at all. Even with all the weed she smokes. She barely knows peace at all. All she does is whine, complain, bicker. This is what I'm trying to get at, to where she's like, it's hard to find the words for it, but I mean a lot more when I say they lack a soul, and so they're like a different being when they move through life. They think differently, they operate differently, they move differently, because they're just like, they lack a soul. They aren't the thing we are. We are the soul, and they lack a soul. They're just a spirit. We have a spirit. They just are a spirit. These human beings. White people, Chinese people, Japanese people, fake Mexican people, and Dravidian people, and Arabian people, you feel me? You can see the energy of a human being compared to the carbonated species, you feel me? But so word. Peace to the gods and goddesses of the planet Kai. Now we rise. 1.